All right, this next step, we're going to attach the pocket into those two areas. So we're gonna try and attach the pockets here and here. So I'm just gonna show you one way. If you decide you want a pocket somewhere else, absolutely you can do it. You can put a pocket up at the top here, just one in the middle. If you also wanna have one on the side, that's okay too. You can decide what you want. So what I've done is we've made those marks before we cut our patterns out, and we just made little fabric pencil marks. So I took those marks and I put pins through them. So all I did was just look at the mark and I put a pin through it. Okay, that's all I did. I did that in all four corners, okay? So if you can't really see, I have pins in here marking those spots. Now I'm gonna take my pocket, and here's the top of the pocket that I've already sewn shut, right? Just the seam right here. I'm gonna line this up, and you're gonna see that my pocket actually is a little smaller than these four corners. That's okay. We're gonna use this as a guide to help us so we can make this all even so it doesn't look like turned or wonky or like they're uneven, right? We want them to make sure they're all even. So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna measure from this bottom corner where the pin is, that was where like one of the markings was on the bottom, and I'm gonna measure this to the very edge of my, my apron. I have exactly 3.5 inches. So I'm gonna line this up here, and then what I'm gonna do is in this corner, I'm gonna line my pocket up right up against that, and then in this corner, or I'm gonna move it up, and I'm gonna measure now 3.5 inches from the top as well. And I'm gonna pin this down, okay? Okay, that's one corner pinned. Kind of tweak this a little bit. Want to make sure. Those are pinned. I also want to double check to see the distance from the bottom to make sure it's not like crooked a little bit. So I want to double check that as well. So here I have from the bottom of this, I'm going to take this pin out, it's in the way. From the bottom of the pocket to the bottom of my apron is 8 1/4. Okay, so 8 1/4. And then I'm gonna check over here and say, okay, is this 8 1/4 or do I need to tweak it a little bit? This is not quite, so I'm actually gonna move it. Let me see. I'm gonna take these pins out that were sticking up here. Now I'm gonna put 2 pins on each side all around this because it should be perfectly square now. Okay, you guys, so I have pinned my pocket onto my apron. I know it's hard to see probably. I have 2 pins on each side. And you guys, this took me quite a bit of time because I kept adjusting things. I kept checking and say, okay, it's 3.5 here. Oh, it's a little more than 3.5. I need to go a little bit. So I did that a few times. I keep taking pins out and moving things around to make sure that it was going to be perfectly even on this section. Okay. Now, I want to make sure you guys understand, yours does not have to be 3.5 inches from the side. It's whatever you choose for it to be. Just make sure it's the same from the top and bottom here, right? So if you choose 4 inches, just make sure it's 4 inches from the edge of the pocket to the edge of the apron and 4 inches here. Or if you choose 3 inches and 3 inches, whatever works for you, then make sure it's also the same from the bottom. Now you're going to do the same thing to the other side if you're going to have 2 pockets, okay? One thing I like to look at before you do this is on the back. If you can see, it's really smooth. My fabric's not all bunched up. Sometimes when you're putting a bunch of things on like this, it might get bunched up with how you pinned it, but mine's all smooth. So just check that to make sure it's not. Okay, and now we're gonna go sew this on, and this pocket will be on our apron.